everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I'm your host, Marla Martenson, and I am with medical intuitive Bill Foss. Hey, Bill.
How are you, Marla?
Awesome. And you guys, it's raining where Bill is in Indianapolis. He's on the road, and so if you hear some sound, it's just the rain on his roof, so which I think is amazing. I wish it would rain here in LA. We could use it. So, but Bill, I am fascinated about medical intuition. I'm very into health and wellness and all of that, and always trying to be in tune with my body and do everything holistically. Talk a little bit about what you do as a medical intuitive and why someone would maybe want to come to you if they have an issue instead of a traditional doctor or in addition to.
Sure, absolutely. Well, as you know, in current times there's a lot of energy healers that have come up over the last few decades, and all of this came as I was an artist and I got into the Akashic Records and started working with the Akashic Records. The shift between my own energy fields and the soul fields. So between my own energy field and the soul field, there's quite a significant difference. Most of us feel the mind, the solar plexus, the heart, the chakras, or we feel energy from another person. When I got into connection with the soul field has all of the power, all of the creativity, all of the healing, all of the key elements that come through your DNA available for you all the time. And this was the first indicator. Now, I've had people ask me, or even psychics or intuitives over the course of time, say, you should be a healer, as I was an artist, because I could feel energy coming through me. And I always thought to myself, well, I have friends that are healers, that's fine, I'll just let them do it. As I continued to go into the records and into the soul energy, there would be people that would come to me for readings, and I would touch their hands, and I would either feel dark energy, negative energy, entities, or I would either feel directly or get the message from their guides or my guides that there was something going on internally with this person. And so when I would get that, I would open my eyes and I would say to the person, you need a clearing or you need some healing energy. And all of a sudden, usually that person will pipe up and say, you're right, let's do that.
Okay.
So at that point, I have the ability to clear energy from people, clear unbeneficial energy. We've done everything from entity extractions, which are often associated with health issues. Every time there's a health issue, because like attracts like, and things are multidimensional. We're multidimensional beings. So entities can have they can be a knowing, thinking, energetic being with a consciousness, or it can be elemental energy that's just stuck. Okay. Elemental energy can be good, or it can have like an off or out of phase, out of balance feeling. And both, a lot of that is coming through the earth in certain ways. The earth is like us. It's a multi-dimensional being, much grander than we are, and there's a lot of negative and positive vortices that are negatively and positively charged with energy.
Oh, interesting.
And so these are some of the dynamics that I work with other people, and from that place, then we go in and I'll talk to somebody and they'll say, well, I've always had this fear since I was a small child of this. Or I went through this trauma when I was 10, maybe there's an abuse issue or something, or maybe they can't remember part of their life. And this is important because I'm able to go in and just talk to them person to person, kid to kid, friend to friend, and just to acknowledge them. And when I acknowledge them, I'm able to start, so I can directly heal, and I can release that energy.
Well, we pick up so entities and negative entities and stuff. It's very common, right? We're picking it up from all over the place, large crowds and all that. I had attachment coming in through my crown chakra and at night, and then I had 10 attachments that my healer removed, and I had pain at the hardness at the solar plexus. My right arm hurt. I was even constipated. They blocked off the lower chakras. It was, I felt it, and I felt it come in, and I didn't know what the heck was happening. And I had been going to a lot of events and a lot of different, going around and experiencing a lot of things. And I think I picked up a hitchhiker.
You're absolutely right. And, the interesting dynamic about an entity or a person on the other side that has consciousness, if, there are, for lack of a better description, there are all kinds of people out there, right? So you've got good people that are on their knowing path, and then you've got people who knowingly take energy, or you even have people and entities that knowingly attach so that they can have an experience through your senses, energy fields in your body. Mm-hmm. Because the one dynamic that's happening for all of us is that on the other side, they see our light. And on this side, very few of us see our own light. Mm-hmm. If we saw how powerful and brilliant and dynamic we were, then we would probably act much differently, and we'd probably treat ourselves in the world much differently. Right. But on the other side, they don't. They look in and they say, there's somebody, there's God, and they're not aware that they're part of God. Let's tag along, mm-hmm. because I want some chocolate cake, and now I want to have a Coca-Cola, and now I want this, and I want that, and I want this. And so all of a sudden, this person is acting a little bit out of character or going into some old patterns. Mm-hmm. And, that energy, it needs to be clear. And it can also be associated, as we talked about earlier, with health issues.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like I was feeling. I told my husband, I said, there's something wrong in my solar plexus. It's harder than usual. There's something wrong. And I was worried, and I think I even went to the doctor. Regular doctor would never know, And so then when I went to my healer, she could see that there. And then when she did unravel and take them out, I felt it. I didn't have those problems anymore.
That is so wonderful. Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways to work with energy. I don't just have one way that I heal. It's almost as if not every time, but sometimes somebody will come and sit down, and their guys and my guys will formulate a technique to go in and creatively work with them. And then also I can actually affect the tissue. So I do some stuff that some people would consider to be like a mild version of psychic surgery, mm-hmm. or the Brazilian spiritism, where I work within a person's body and their energy fields over the body, which then translates down into the body. I can also project inside of the body, mm-hmm. On a micro level, and look around and work with the tissue and just form organs or specific areas in tissue, and that's when we can really do some very powerful healing work.
Beautiful, wonderful. So you are so multi-talented. You check into the Akashic Records. You do the medical intuitive. You also do house clearing and blessings, which yes. Also talking about those entities removing maybe a house. Would you suggest that when somebody moves in to always do that to a new place?
It's not a bad idea at all, because you're putting your signature in there, and your life, your creativity, your love, right. and your prosperity. Yeah. You want to be in the best possible place you can, in the inspired place. You don't want to, practically speaking, you don't want to be in a new house and then go, I don't know why, but every time I go down to the basement, mm-hmm. There's something weird and funky going on down there, and then it starts to happen in different parts of the house. You want to, so it's always a good thing, and also for businesses, mm-hmm. For places of businesses where multiple people are involved in being. and can be kind of a grand central station of energy. It's always a good thing to do clearing, whether it's a light clearing or deep clearing or a blessing with the land. And I do that in person, and I also do it remotely.
Beautiful. I remember when I worked in an office and we had a boss that was just a kind of a tyrant type, you know, he was real negative and everything. And one day he wasn't there, and the girls in the office, we all took some sage and we went into his office and saged the crap out of it, you know. Like, let's get this real good, you know, and then saged the whole place because we wanted that energy from him, his negativity, to disperse, you know.
Amazing.
That was before I was really into all this too, so that was kind of cool. And I did, when my husband and I moved into our house 6 years ago here, a friend of mine who's a psychic, and she did do it. She blessed it. She saged the place. She went through the whole house. And I think it's great after, if you have an argument with your spouse or, you know, or a client or anything, to also do that, because that energy kind of hangs.
Absolutely.
So it's a great idea.
You're right on.
Beautiful. Well, you guys, if you need a medical intuitive, you need some kind of heavy energies removed, if you want a house blessing, contact Bill. His links are below, and let us know your experiences. If you had some funky energy hanging on you, what did you do about it? I want to hear from you, and have a beautiful day. And until next time, bye. Thanks, Bill.
Bye. Thank you.